Looking to get into Flesh and Blood? This is where to start. Hello and welcome to the table, and today I'm going to be doing a deck tech video for Aurora Shooting Star Classic Constructed. If you want to start off your Classic Constructed journey, like I said in the intro, this is where to start. Very simple, 40 health, 4 intellect, elemental Runeblade hero that has the essence of lightning, so you can play lightning cards in your deck. And she has the once per turn instant speed ability for 2 resources to create an embodiment of lightning token, only if you've played a lightning card this turn. Embodiment of lightning tokens, right here. Say when you play an attack action card, you can destroy this, and then that attack gets go again. Very good card, and it's just, yeah, again. It's just, the ability's good. It's a good foundation, basically, for the deck. You pitch a blue, you spend 2 resources, you get that, and you spend 1 resource for Starfall. Aurora's weapon, which, as once per turn action, for 1 resource, like I already said, you can attack for 1 damage, which seems kind of crappy. But if you played a lightning card this turn, this gets +1 power and go again. So you're already starting to see lightning cards are a big deal. Don't worry, there are plenty of those in this deck. But then getting to the equipment suite, Snapdragon Scalers, if you really need some extra go again, as an attack reaction, you can destroy this and give target attack action with a cost of 1 or less go again, which is the entire deck, so don't need to worry about that. Just give anything go again for free 1 time if you need it. Then there is Blossom of Spring. This effectively is like a Snapdragon Scalers, but for resources. You need a resource? Here you go, 1-time free resource. So yeah, just good card. It's a good card, I don't know what else to say. But then there is Mark of Lightning, just allow you to deal some extra points of damage. It actually does do a ton of work. Honestly, I have played some matchups, this does do work. Whenever a lightning or elemental attack you control is defended by a card from hand, you may destroy this. If you do, the attack deals 1 damage to the defending hero, which does matter for one, like pushing some extra damage through, but this deck does have some very important on-hit effects for certain lightning and elemental cards, and this is a way to, you know, put some extra damage through to get those on-hits on, so that's good. You know? Well, technically a card, but not a specific card itself. Never mind, I'll get to it. Hope Merchant's Hood. If you need certain cards, if you need another blue, if you need another red attack, you can destroy this to get a couple of cards, ship them out of your hand, draw some new cards, and then, hey, who knows, maybe you got what you needed. It's not an amazing headpiece, but it does do its job fairly well, so it'll stay for now. Then, getting into the main deck, I'm going to go over all the attackers and basically all the ways to support the attackers, and I'll go over the blues. But yeah. Coax a Commotion is up first. This is absurd. This card is incredible. 0 resources, 4 attack, 2 block. If it hits, you choose any number of the following. Each hero creating a Quicken token, which is effectively an embodiment of lightning and can give you some go again. That's all that really matters. Each hero draws a card, which is a pretty big deal. It does give your opponent a card, but I mean, you get a card too. And then each hero gains a life. So you can give yourself some extra go-again goodies. You can give yourself a card, or you can get yourself some life, or you can do them all or a combination. Your opponent gets the benefits too, like I already said, but it is an on-hit that your opponent has to respect. Because you are the deck that's wanting to go super wide, you may be playing against a deck like Florian that's like, yeah, he wants to do some setup, he wants to use a ton of his cards, but not going to be able to use everything, you know? So yeah, Coax a Commotion, just a very good card to allow you to go over the top even more in this deck that just loves to go over the top. Then there is, where is that? Entwine Lightning. This is a 0 cost, 4 attack, 2 block. Lightning Fusion, so as an additional cost to play this, you can reveal a lightning card from your hand, and if you do, it gets go again. 0 cost, 4 attack, go again. What's not to like, right? What's not to like? Getting into the first lightning cards, and I think the rest of the attacks in this, actually there is one attack that's not a lightning card, but the rest of the attacks beyond that one are lightning from here on. Flittering Charge, 0 cost, 4 attack, 2 block. If you've played an instant card this chain link, this gets go again, which seems like, okay, well, I gotta play instants in order to give this go again. It can't be that good, right? But this deck has a ton of instants in it, so it actually is a lot easier to turn on than you would think. Trust me, I was very, kind of skeptical of it at first too, but then I played around with it, and it turns on a lot more than you would think. Then there's Fry, 0 cost, 3 attack, go again. I mean, it doesn't block for anything, but I mean, this deck doesn't really like to block anyways. So 3 damage, go again, 0 resources. No it doesn't say you have to do this to give it go again. No, it's just gonna have go again, period. What's not to like? Then there is Gone in a Flash. Haha, this deck's named after that, so this card's gotta be good, right? Yeah, it's busted. 0 cost, 4 attack, 3 block. That 3 block is kind of nuts, by the way. Because yeah, whatever. 3 blocks are good, but even though it doesn't matter that much in this deck, I just want to bring it up because it's like, seriously, you gave this thing 3 block? But yeah, 0 cost, 4 attack. Doesn't have go again, which is really nice, honestly, because otherwise this card would be really busted. But 0 cost, 4 attack. When this attacks, the next time you play an instant card this Chain Link, you may return Gone in a Flash to your hand. Well, remember what I said earlier about Flittering Charge being turned on really easily? Because there's plenty of instants in this deck. That also applies to this card because there are plenty of instants in this deck. And there are also plenty of ways to get this go again, either with Aurora's ability, Snapdragon Scalers, or something like a Coax the Commotion, or something like a card that I'll talk about here in a second, or other ways to give go again. There are plenty of ways to give this thing go again, and yeah. Getting to attack with this even twice. You play this, you play an instant, bounce Gone in a Flash back to your hand, and you play it again. Even then, just playing it twice, that's stupid. 0 resources for 8 damage. Tell me that's not good. Then there's Lightning Form. This card, 1 cost, 5 attack on hit. Hey, 3 go again. Creating an embodiment of lightning token. One of the ways to give Gone in a Flash, go again. And this is also just a good statted body. It's got an on hit. It's good. And also, hey, you know, lightning, this thing, Mark of Lightning, is doing some work with this Lightning Form. So yeah, there is a reason for it being in the deck. Then there's Lightning Surge. 0 cost, 4 attack. If it was played from the arsenal, it gets go again. It gets go again. Yeah, it's a good card. And it attacks for a lot. And then there's second. I always skip this card. Then there's Photon Rush. 0 cost, 3 attack. It blocks for 3. And if you play the lightning card, this gets go again. So it's a Fry that blocks for 3. Also, it's not a lightning card. That is a notable downside, so this is only a 2 of. But besides that, it comes in for 3. Pretty much always go again for 0 resources, which is good. Then there's Second Strike. 0 cost, 3 attack. When it attacks, if you've dealt damage this turn, which, yeah, you've dealt damage, this gets +1 power and go again. So 0 cost, 4 attack, go again. Again, that's good. That's good. Then there's nothing else in this deck. I'll actually go over the support cards next. The first one being Burn Up Shock. This is one of the MVPs of the deck. It's not in the thumbnail, but if there was a 4th card that would be put in the thumbnail, this would be it, because this card is, it's good. 0 resources for 5 arcane damage, essentially, which, I've heard that's good. 0 resources to play Shock, the first half of this meld card. Deal 1 arcane damage to any target as an instant. Hey, that's an instant. And then Burn Up is a Runeblade action with go again that gives the next time, or reads, the next time an attack you control hits a hero this turn, deal 4 arcane damage to them. So you play Shock first, deal an arcane damage. Play instant so it doesn't need go again. Then you play Burn Up, and it's like, hey, if one of your things hits, it deals some extra damage. Also, Mark of Lightning, another reason for it to be in the deck, because it's like, oh, well, you block, and then if you don't overblock for 1, then I can, you know, blow up this card, and then that 1 damage goes through, and then Burn Up, and 4 more damage comes through. So yeah, very good card, very good card. Then there's Electromagnetic Somersault. This is a 0 cost lightning instant, hey, another instant, that reads, choose up to 2 attack actions with the cost of 0 or more from the active chain link, and return them to their owner's hands when the chain link resolves. So basically, let's just say you play 2 Shocks, let's just say, and you play something like an Electromagnetic Somersault. Well, then you get those 2 Fries back to your hand, and you can play them again. So this Electromagnetic Somersault can allow you to get a lot of extra damage for nothing. Why? Anyways, moving on. There's Electrostatic Discharge. 0 cost lightning instant gives the next attack action you play this turn with cost of 1 or less, +3 power. Just more damage. This deck likes that. This deck likes that. And then, getting past that, there's Lightning Press, was essentially the same thing, but it gives target attack action will cost 1 or less plus 3 power, not the next 1 plus 3 power, because that is notable. But yeah, Lightning Press pushes more damage. That's good in this deck. Then there is Sizzle, which is not an instant, unfortunately, but it gives your next lightning or elemental attack this turn plus 3 power, and it costs 0, and it's got Go again and block for 2, and it's good. It's a good card. It's a good card. It's a 2-of, but it's a good card. Then there's Arc Lightning. So Aurora's ability costs you resources. This pitches for 2, and it gives the next action you play this turn, Go again. So it's a free activation of Aurora's ability right off the bat. That's kind of cool. But in addition to that, this costs 0, by the way. It already, like I said earlier, gives the next action you play this turn, Go again. It has Go again itself, and it reads, whenever you go again this turn, deal 1 arcane damage to any target. So, it Go agains itself, and then you deal 1 arcane damage to any target. Then it gives your next thing Go again. You play something that didn't have Go again before, but now does, such as a Coax the Commotion, such as a Gone in a Flash, such as a Lightning Form, such as a lot of cards in this deck. You give it Go again, 1 arcane damage to any target, thanks to Arc Lightning. You keep going wide, and more wide, and more wide. You keep going again. Arc Lightning's like pain, 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 pain. It adds up, and this is your resources, and this can push a lot. And it's Go again. It's a free Aurora activation, and it blocks, and it's this, and it's that. And it's like, what the hell? It's good. It's good. It makes me cry. But anyways, then there's Channel Lightning Valley. This is one of the main reasons why, this is basically Burn Up Shock and this card are the main reasons why Mark Lightning is a card in this deck. This card is a Lightning Instant. Another instant, that's notable. But it costs 0, and it reads, the first time you deal damage to an opposing hero, each turn draw a card. Well, that makes Mark Lightning very annoying, first off. But second off, this card basically is like, hey, opponent, if you want this thing to hit, well, if you let it hit, I get a card. Now, it does have Channel Lightning, so at the beginning of your end phase, you put a flow counter on it, and then destroy it unless you put a lightning card from your pitch zone on the bottom of your deck for each flow counter on it. Notable thing, every single card in this deck that you want to be pitching is a lightning card, so that's good for you. But yeah, this card, essentially, if you can get 1 card, preferably 2, likely going to be 2, honestly, out of it, that's amazing. And if you don't get cards out of it, and you basically just strip a ton of cards from your opponent's hand because they don't want you to draw cards, and they block a ton, and then they don't have enough cards to do more stuff to you and all that kind of stuff. Basically, this either strips tons of cards from your opponent's hand and you don't get cards, or your opponent doesn't block enough, you get cards and you can go more wide and do more of what the deck wants to do. Either way, good for you. Then getting into the pitch cards. Blank, 0 cost, Lightning Instant, another instant, gain an action point. That's good if you can't get Go again on something like a Gone in a Flash, something like a Lightning Form, something like a Coax the Commotion. This is the way to get some Go again, essentially. Plus it pitches for 3. That's notable. And it's an instant, again. Then there's Electrostatic Discharge. I already gone over this card. It pitches for 3. It's good. Lightning Press, same thing. Pitches for 3. I've already gone over it. Then there's a Sigil of Lightning. This is a 0 cost lightning instant. Pitches for 3. At the beginning of your action phase, you destroy this, and when this leaves the arena, create an embodiment of Lightning Token. If you absolutely need some Go again, this is a good way to give yourself some Go again. And yeah, it's just good utility card, essentially. Then there's Current Funnel. This is actually really good card if you need to play it. 0 cost 2 attack. If the last action card you play this turn was Lightning, which, come on, it's going to be, this and the next action you play this turn gets Go again. That's good. Plus it pitches for 3. Plus it blocks for 3. I mean, what's not to like, right? Yeah, so this card, if you play it, it's good. If you pitch it, it's good. If you block with it, it's good. It's just good. It's just good. Then getting into the sideboard, this deck does have a problem with Verdance. This deck does have a problem with Flooring. It does have a problem with Arcane Barrier. And it does have a problem with decks that kind of drag out the game and make it longer and make it harder for you to win. So, the inventory, the sideboard, helps you with that. First off, Verdance, I already said. Life gain, this deck doesn't really like. Reaping Blade makes that a lot harder for Verdance, because if a hero has more life than any other hero, they can't gain life. Verdance cries in the corner. Yes, she is going to be able to gain life if she has less life than you. But if you manage properly, if you manage the board and the game properly, this card does make it a lot more manageable, and it makes it a lot easier for you to win against Verdants. Plus, it's just a 1-cost 3-powered attacker that's a weapon. So that is also very good. It puts on pressure, plus it makes those hard matchups a lot easier for you, essentially. Then Arcane Barrier. Normally in decks, I like Arcane Barrier 3, but this deck doesn't like to pitch a ton. It's not a very defensive deck, so I'll only have AB2. Null Rune Hood being one of them, and then Vexing Quill Hand being the other. Plus, with Vexing Quill Hand, you can get some utility out of it by destroying it and getting some rune chance. So that is notable for some extra arcane damage pressure. Then getting into the rest of it, essentially ways to deal with decks that drag out the game more, or Florian, which is, I guess, a deck that drags out the game more. But then there's Ripple Away. This card is only for Florian, basically, because Florian is a very hard matchup for Aurora. And Florian loves to make his tokens. This, as an instant speed ability, you can discard this to then, if an action card would create one or more tokens for the rest of this turn, instead it creates that many, -1 of each of those tokens. Essentially what this does is like, hey Florian, if you make a rune chant, you actually make 0. If you make 2 rune chants, you actually make 1. If you make 3 rune chants, you actually make 2. And that just it basically cuts off a ton of the rune chants that Florian would be creating for an entire turn. Plus, if you don't use this to, shut off some Florian bowl, then you can pitch this for 3 or block for 3, which is also good. Or if you absolutely need to, it attacks for 2 resources, which isn't the end of the world either. Then getting into the rest of it, basically good defensive cards and more cards that are just good in games that drag out longer. The main one being Exude Confidence. This is a 0-cost 4 attack 2 block. If it isn't defended by a card with basically, it can not be defended by certain things, or the opponent can't play certain things if it has greater power, then yeah, that doesn't matter. What does matter is that as an instant, you can pitch 3 resources to give this +2 power only while it's attacking. What this means is in longer games, you're going to be kind of soaking up, you're going to have some more resources in your hand. This card can allow you to get rid of some of those resources to bump it up a little bit more and just be a good attacker and allow you to just push more damage over the course of the game that you wouldn't be able to with the main board of this deck. It's a good card, is what I'm trying to say. Then there's Sigil of Suffering. This is a good offensive card to a point, but also defensive. It's a 0-cost defense reaction and blocks for 3, which isn't great, but you deal 1 arcane damage to the attacking hero when you play this, which, hey, some pressure, that's not bad. And if you've dealt arcane damage this turn, this gets +1 defense. So if the opponent spends a whole card to basically soak up arcane damage, then this blocks for 3, sure, but you got a card out of them. Or, if it leaks through, then this blocks for 4, which is awesome for you. Plus, you pushed some damage on your opponent in a damage leak through. Or if the opponent spends 1 resource that they have lying around, well, who knows, maybe they needed that resource to do the next big thing on their turn, and now they're screwed. So yeah, either way, this card is just good, because it's normally going to be good for you in some sense or another, no matter what, as far as defensively it goes. Whatever, I'm trying to say. Then there's Sink Below. Do I need to say anything? This is just a good card. It blocks for 4 and it's a defense reaction. What else do I need to say? But yeah, that is Aurora. This is a very good deck. I feel like this deck, I feel like this is going to be a very good budget deck. First off, I feel like there's a reason this doesn't have the legendaries in it, because I want this to be a budget deck. And I'm not 100% sure right at this moment if it's going to be a budget deck, but I imagine it's going to be, because, I mean, there are 0 legendaries in this deck. The Majestics in this deck that aren't from Rosetta are very inexpensive, and there are Majestics in this deck that are from Rosetta. I don't think are going to push this deck up to like $200, $250+ I feel like at most, once the prices of this set settle out, I feel like this deck will be worth at most like $130, $150. So yeah, this is a very good place to start off. If you don't want to get an armory deck and you want to do something else, this is a good place to start off. I love this deck. I love this set. And I feel like, I don't know, Aurora is just a very good place to start off your journey in Classic Constructed, or just in Flesh and Blood in general. And this is my favorite deck that I've built for Aurora to kind of showcase that and my love for it. So anyways, With all that aside, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, it's completely free, you won't regret it, and have a great rest of your day, everybody.